Mr. President, I rise in support of the bill of Every Child Succeeds Act. Mr. President, today will be a great day in the United States Senate because we will actually pass a bill that is a result of bipartisan effort led by two very able and dedicated leaders, Chairman Alexander and Ranking Member Senator Patty Murray. They've done an outstanding job in guiding the committee, encouraging open debate, extensive hearings, consultation with members, committee markups that were long, hard, sometimes quite feisty, to say the least, but that's the way the Congress ought to be. And I'm going to thank them, and I think their dedication shows that in the Senate, we acknowledge the work of Chairman Kine and Ranking Member Scott in the House, but here we were led by two educators, the former president of a university, the former Secretary of Education, Senator Alexander, and in Senator Murray, a teacher herself who has taught us many lessons in our caucus on how to do the right job in the right way. So today we come now with the rewrite of a bill that started 50 years ago when Lyndon Johnson wanted to have a war on poverty and had passed the Elementary Secondary Education Act. It was the first time that the federal government was going to be involved in education and wanted to be sure that there were federal resources to help lift children out of poverty. Because many of us agree with the great former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, has said that education is the civil rights issue of this generation, because education is what opens doors today and opens tomorrow. The legislation that we pass today will make sure that we correct the problems of the past and do the right thing in the future. When I knew that the committee was going to be serious about doing the bill, I crisscrossed Maryland consulting with parents, teachers, administrators of our school system to get the best ideas. The first thing I asked is, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What do you want us to do more of? And when do you want us to get the heck out of the way? They said to me, Senator Barb, the problem in Washington is you have a one-size-fits-all mentality. Washington wants to write the same rules that apply in New York City and apply them to Ocean City, Maryland. That you cannot have a one-size-fits-all for every school district in the United States of America. The second thing they said is, yes, you need accountability. Yes, you do metrics. You do need metrics. But what we've come up with is over-testing that still does not result in high performance. So I worked on a bipartisan basis with the leadership to do what we could to get rid of those excesses of one-size-fits-all, all decisions that are made in Washington, and the fact that we shouldn't be racing to the test, we should be racing to the top. My first rule in working on this legislation was to do no harm. I was deeply disturbed that there was an effort to change the formula that meant what federal funds do come in the area of Title I. And we worked very hard to make sure that the formula was fair and equitable along with the rules of the game are now and the groundwork for the rules of the game for the future. What that meant was initially Maryland would have lost $40 million. In Baltimore City and Baltimore County, we would have each lost $6 million. In Prince George's County, experiencing a tremendous new wave of immigrant children, we would have lost $7 million. We were able to make sure the formula works in the way it should. We also made sure that for the teachers, that our teachers have the support that they need. Our teachers have been overregulated. They've had demands placed on them to solve the problems that are not of theirs when a child comes to the classroom. Their job is to teach the child, but they can't solve every problem that the child has. Many of our children come to school now with significant and severe health problems. Some have peanut allergies. Some have asthma. Some are challenged by autism. The school system needs help with supportive services. I am so proud of the effort that I led to make sure that we have opportunities for school nurses to be in those schools, to make sure that federal funds can be used for the coordination of the services that would be needed to provide and oversee the health needs of our children. Vision screening, hearing screening, important mental health services. This is what we need to be able to do. And then also to make sure that while we maintain testing in reading and math, we make sure that we get rid of the over-testing and not the race to the test. Every child, the Every Student Succeeds Act is good for all of the Maryland students. There's 874,000 boys and girls in school today. Some are from at-risk populations. What we do here is get them ready for schools. We make investments in preschool education, which is so important. We have after-school program because you don't only learn during the school day, but through structured after-school programming, children continue to learn all day while they're in a safe and secure environment. We empower families, we empower teachers, and we empower the local level. I think this is a very good job in what's been done here. What we hope to be able to do is make sure that our children are ready for the 21st century. I believe this bill is a down payment on our children's future and therefore on our nation's future. When we spend money on education, the benefit not only accrues to the child, but it accrues to our society. Every time a child can read, every time a child can participate in the demands and the knowledge of what the 21st century requires, we're going to be in a better place. I congratulate Senators Alexander and Murray on a great job and urge adoption of the bill and yield the floor.